I got a request to show off some of the guitars, or show my guitars that I purchased over the years. This one here is a copy of the 1964 model George Harrison used on the Ed Sullivan Show. It's called the Gretsch. Actually called Chet Atkins Country Gentleman, and that, like I said, that was one of the first guitar he used on the Ed Sullivan Show. That same show, John Lennon used a 325 Rickenbacker. This is a copy of it. It sounds great. And he also used this the first show on the Ed Sullivan Show. This is the Hofner bass. It's the type Paul McCartney used on the first show of the Ed Sullivan Show. It's a very beautiful sounding guitar. Don't play it much. It's kind of hard for me to do the bass, rhythm guitar, leads all by myself, but it's here in case we need it. This is my Fender 12 string, which I use for England Dan and John Ford Coley mostly, like Sad to Belong, a few songs like that. It's a great sounding guitar. This one here is another George Harrison model. It's a solid body Gretsch guitar. I use that quite often. It's a beautiful sounding guitar. I hate to put it down sometimes, but it don't match all the recordings. This is, right now, it's a Gibson Epiphone. It was actually made by Gibson, but George Harrison used like in Rain, Paperback Writer, and songs like this. Also was given to Pete Ham by George Harrison when they signed Badfinger. No Matter What, Come and Get It, songs like that were played on it. This is a George Harrison 12-string Rickenbacker. It's beautiful. Don't get to play it much. Not a whole lot of songs he did on it, but it's one I had to get some of the sounds. This, in the later years, Paul McCartney used a Rickenbacker bass guitar. I bought this to match some of the sounds that they did in the later songs. But like I said, don't get to use it much. I'm only one person. This is a song I use for the songs for more like Oreo Speedwagon. You know, it's a copy of one they use. I forget exactly what they're called, but it's got a completely different sound than most guitars. This here one is a Fender guitar that George Harrison used after he gave up the Gretches, and we used this for a lot of different songs he did in the later years. This is another Gretsch, not the same color and stuff, but it's the same model that George used on a lot of songs himself with his lead guitar, and it's very nice sounding also. I don't know what else to say. Now this is what they call a jet glow John Lennon hollow body. He used a lot of this on Woman, just like Starting Over, and different songs like that. This was a little cheapie I bought just to do practice different recordings. I sit here and play, try to learn songs. Not a bad sounding guitar, a couple $100. This is a 1964-65 model. It's a remake of it, but it's made by Epiphone, and it's got all the Gibson hardware on it. And they use like in Help, Hard Day's Night, I Should Have Known Better, songs like that. This is another one of my practice guitars that I work on different songs to try to get the same sounds, and then that's how I start choosing different guitars to sound as close as this one. Now this one here, John Lennon played a casino, and this is an Epiphone, and it's almost made like the casino. It just got different pickups, and they're called P30s, I believe. It gives it a nice high pitched sound, and all gold, expensive guitar. And it sounds great. This is my double neck. I just purchased a number of weeks ago, and we're doing different stuff like the Eagles and things like that, where they go back and forth from 12 string to 6 string. And I'm still working on it, putting new strings on it, and I'm not playing it that much yet. That's my ukulele that I'll be trying to learn. And it's kind of tough. Different chords, different shapes. And that pretty much completes the guitars. I got one that's not here that my son is using, and that's a Gibson. And I got DV amp, bass amp. Then I got a Bog amp to match the Beatles sound, a Bog double piggyback stack, and also an acoustic amp. It's called acoustic. And that kind of pretty much what I got here. And I hope you enjoyed this.